Hello, and welcome to the Tech Talks podcast, where code meets comedy. Today, we're diving into common interview questions for senior Android developers. Get ready to prepare, have a laugh, and impress your future boss with your coding skills. So grab your headphones and let's get started.
Oh wow, this sounds like a blast. I'm not a senior Android developer yet, but I'm super curious about what kind of questions they throw at you. I mean, is it like a trivia night, but for coding?
Well, it kind of is. First up, Android architecture. Picture your app as a superhero team with the model, the view, and the view model, that's MVVMs. The model fetches data like a detective gathering clues. The view model translates data for the user interface, and the view is the eye-catching sidekick that presents the data to the user. This separation keeps your code neat, preventing your app from becoming a tangled mess like a bunch of knotted earphones.
Haha, knotted earphones? That's such a relatable image. So, can you have like a villain in your architecture too, or is that just like extra chaotic?
Oh, that's a great question. In a sense, unoptimized code or memory leaks can be seen as the villains in the architecture realm. They can definitely cause havoc. Speaking of which, let's cover memory management next. Crucial for keeping your app from crashing. Think of memory like a party. Too many uninvited guests, memory leaks, and chaos ensues. To keep that in check, I use weak references that don't overstay their welcome and avoid holding on to static contexts. It's like dragging a fridge around.
Dragging a fridge around? Ha! Wow, I can just imagine. Do you ever have to do like a memory cleanup after an app party? Like, do you have to kick people out?
Exactly. That's what we do with memory management. Cleaning up after the party. Plus, I utilize the memory profiler in Android Studio to catch leaks before they spiral out of control. Once, I switched an activity reference to an application context. Trust me, it felt as satisfying as finding the last slice of pizza.
Ooh, the last slice. That's a win. So, moving on. What about tasks that run in the background? I feel like if my app freezes, I'd burst into tears. What do you do to avoid that?
Ah, great point. Moving on to background tasks. No one likes a frozen screen. I typically use Kotlin coroutines or RxJava. Think of coroutines as baristas managing your background tasks efficiently. For example, when fetching user data, I launch a coroutine on the I/O dispatcher. It's like ordering coffee and enjoying the show without leaving your seat.
So you're saying it's like multitasking while you sip your coffee? That's genius. Do you ever have like a kitchen disaster when those tasks don't go as planned?
Oh, absolutely. There can be some kitchen disasters for sure, but that's part of the process. Now let's chat about designing a scalable app. Imagine your app is a restaurant. It needs a good layout, a clear menu, and a great chef. My recipe includes modular architecture, RESTful APIs for efficient data delivery, secure authentication as your bouncer, and caching data for quick access.
Nice. So you're basically creating a 5-star restaurant for apps? I bet sometimes the customer feedback can be harsh, huh?
Oh, definitely. User feedback can be intense, just like a food critic. For instance, I created a news app that cached the latest headlines, so users could scroll even without an internet connection.
Wow, that's really cool. So it's like having a takeout menu at a restaurant that still works, even when the kitchen is closed? Haha, speaking of kitchens, what about the cooking process? Do you have any secret recipes, CI/CD pipeline experiences?
Ha! I love that analogy. Finally, let's chat about CI/CD pipelines, the unsung heroes of development. Imagine it as a relay race. Every code commit is a baton pass, and a solid 101 CD pipeline ensures smooth handoffs. I've built pipelines with Jenkins and GitHub Actions that automatically build, test, and deploy your app like a high-tech assembly line.
Ooh, assembly line. So you're, like, the factory manager of the app world? Do you wear a hard hat? Just kidding. What's been the craziest experience you've had with a failing build in your pipeline?
Haha, I wish I had a hard hat sometimes. Once, I set up a pipeline that ran unit tests and deployed a beta version seamlessly. When a build failed, the pipeline sent an alert to the team, speeding up our release cycle and avoiding the dread of manual deployments.
That sounds like a lifesaver. Honestly, I'm exhausted just listening to all this. It's like running a marathon of code. So, what's the takeaway for folks looking to crush their interviews?
That's a wrap for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed our journey through Android interview topics with some laughs along the way. If you found these tips helpful, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your developer friends. Remember, interviews can be fun if you're prepared. Until next time, keep coding and stay awesome.